Meeting to order. First thing we need is approval of the minutes of the prior meeting. Made by Supervisor Garrity, seconded by Supervisor Diamond. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, with that, I'll turn the meeting over to Mr. Ajos.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item on page 2 is a request to transfer for funds for salaries. This is related to paving for town roads. We don't include the overtime costs in those projects.
Brought to the floor by Supervisor Loeb, seconded by Supervisor Garrity. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
We have no more resolution requests. The next item on there is under referral pending items. Sweet Fire Tower, I don't necessarily know if there's an update. Do we have a meeting?
I think we have a meeting next week on that.
The next item on there is with regards to the contracts for snow and ice. We're still working on that. We've requested the towns to provide us some of their expenses. Just a heads up, Supervisor Simpson and I took a ride last week on some of the county roads within the town of Horicon, and we were both chatting about the amount of sand that is used on town roads, on county roads in each one of these towns. I understand it probably is a reduced cost for the towns to do that. I know that we kind of asked to use salt on our roads. That's what we use on our roads, but I also know that we're moving towards reduction of salt. One of the things that we're noticing on these roads is the amount of sand that's being used each winter is leaving nothing but windrows on the side of my roads, which are basically mounds where the water during rain or snow or ice cannot get off my roads. That deteriorates the county roads all that much quicker. That and cutting back the canopies on these roads, which is my responsibility under our maintenance on these roads. But if those roads can't dry out and they can't get rid of that water, I'll come back here every year for the next 10 years and ask you for $4 million every year to repair my roads. We do have certain towns do sweeping for us every year. I spoke to Chairman Simpson about this. I believe what I'm going to ask from here on out in the contract, and I guess we can reflect that with how much we pay, is the towns just don't sweep our roads off, is that they actually pick up the sand. Because sweeping it off, you're just sweeping mounds. And again, we're not creating any channels for the water to get off our roads. So that may be a change coming forward this year in the contracts. Either I guess the county will take the roads back, and it'll be a lot of maintenance for me to do that, for that sweeping, or that we'd ask that when the towns do sweep, they use a skid steer, a grader, or some other piece of equipment to get that sand off our roads. I don't have any other items under referral and pendings. I'll move to information for discussion and review. I'm going to hand around pictures. These are some of the road construction projects that we've had up to date. The ones that don't have striping on yet, these are ones that were done in-house. The ones that do have striping on them, those are the contractor projects. I think we're probably about halfway through with our projects right now. Probably halfway through with the contractor projects. The county projects, we're not quite halfway through the ones that we're working on yet, but we've been doing a lot of patchwork and other work along the bike path and such. But we're moving along at a good pace, and I'm thinking by the beginning of October, we should pretty much be wrapped up with all the paving for the county for the year. A heads up for the Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day in Warrensburg is August 3rd. That's coming up fairly quickly. And then the last thing I didn't put on your sheets, but I wrote it down for myself just to give an update. The sewer project that's being worked on by County DPW as well as Town Forces for Countryside. We are 90% complete. Probably within the next 4 to 6 weeks we'll have it wrapped up and done. And that will include Countryside being tied in as well as Cornell Cooperative Extension, and that project should be wrapped up. I think we're doing okay with budget right now, but we're getting close. But I think we're okay right now. And that's all I had.
Okay, are there any questions on the DPW side of this before we go into Parks and Rec? Chairman?
Just a comment, Kevin. I know you've been involved in the salt reduction program and are active across the board, but I would hope going forward that spending right attention on stormwater infiltrators in terms of design of our roads. Time between cuts and seeding as limited as possible. All of that reduces the amount of runoff impact that we can get to our waters. And especially, I think we should require that in our specifications of our contractors. We have contractors doing some of our work, including requiring them to use clothing socks as opposed to netting, that type of element. All of that will, I think, serve us well going forward. So it's kind of like kudos. Thanks for keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you. With that, we'll move into our Parks, Rec, and Railroad agenda with Mr. Benway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first I have is an extension of existing contract between the City of Glens Falls and the South Warren Snowmobile Club. It's actually the parking lot on West Mountain. An annual agreement.
Someone like to move that? Okay. We have a motion by Supervisor Hogan, seconded by Supervisor Loeb. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, the second resolution also was for snowmobiles with Lime Timber and the Hague Snow Goers. It's for a piece of property up off Route 8. It's an annual $3,185 we pay to Lime Timber for a recreation lease. Annual agreement.
Motion by Supervisor Merlino, seconded by Supervisor Wild. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Next resolution I have, Mr. Lewis has also donated another $5,000 again to Up Yonder this year. So I've asked for $500 to be put into equipment and the other into supplies.
Okay, would someone like to move this? Supervisor Loeb, seconded by Supervisor Hogan. Do you have a question?
Just wanted to say, can we
No.
make sure we send a thank you? Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, are we ready for the question? Supervisor Loeb?
Yes, probably more often than not, people wonder, well, what does Up Yonder Farm do for us? If you don't go there, my grandchildren went a week ago, and they got the greatest kick about finding beetles and the different programs they have. They had a really good time.
Pancakes.
I don't know if they had paint.
Later in the year, or in the spring.
Sign me up for that, but just, okay, thanks.
Okay, we'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next I'll turn it over to Mr. Hajos.
Thank you, Tim. Next item is on the agenda is to establish a A899 Reserve County Railroad Repair project. This is cost of repairs related to county-owned, basically county-owned railroad. We had an engineer's house up in Riparius that was dilapidated. It was falling down. We went up there and knocked the facility down. We did have it tested. It tested for positive for asbestos, as well as lead-based paint as well. I don't recall, but I know
They
it was-
consider the whole building hazardous waste.
Right, they consider the whole building hazardous waste, so we have to remove the building off of county grounds or off county facility and dispose of it properly. The cost is approximately $53,000, and you'll see that comes into the next couple of resolutions down. And I was hoping that Mike Swan was here, because the second part of this resolution, or the second resolution of this, was to transfer the money that we already have in the Railroad Reserve right now, A891, and to move it into this A899 reserve account. And legally, based on indication from the Treasurer's Office, that this is the only route that we could take. Mary, I'm not sure if you can answer or add on to that at all. No, that's what Mike said. It has to go from one reserve to another reserve.
Supervisor Garrity?
You have a contractor already in place to do this?
Not yet, we don't.
So you're RFP?
We will do we have a term agreement with Atlantic Testing. They gave us the number already. I think we could probably, we have Atlantic Testing for testing equipment, and we have another Atlantic that does removal. I think we've gotten a ballpark.
They are
figure.
on kind
Yeah, they are.
of, because I may need.
They're on a term agreement, yeah.
Supervisor Loeb?
I move that.
7 and 8, or just 7?
Well, 7, 8, but so why do we have to go from a county railroad reserve to a railroad reserve? That's a question I'm gonna ask, but
And again, I was hoping that Mike Swan was here. Betsy, I'm not sure that you can add on to this, but the money that's associated with 891 was
Oh, 3.
part of the reserve that also was paid out to the town of Corinth for their portion. So we're creating a new, just county railroad reserve.
then I'll move all.
Okay, Supervisor Loeb, that was 6, 7, and 8, I'm sorry.
6, 7, 8, yep. Thank
Okay,
you.
do we have a second?
I'll second that, and,
Supervisor Wild?
if you don't mind. Thank you. Kevin, you said you need 53,000 to remove that building, but you're taking 132,000 out, and what's the other 80,000 for?
That'll just stay in that reserve account.
Okay, any further discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
There are no referral or pending items. I think I'm going to turn it over to County Administrator Moore for discussions on URAL negotiations.
Because this is a matter leading to the appointment potentially of a corporation, I would ask for the committee's permission to go into executive session.
Supervisor Hogan, seconded by Supervisor Wild, to go into executive session to discuss
To discuss the status of
status
negotiations.
negotiations. I was going to say what he said. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. No action taken in executive session, and Claudia?
Is there a date set or no? For the next?
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll see if it's a deal breaker for Corinth or for United Rail, and if it's not, we'll set a date.
Okay, anything else to come before the committee?
Oh, we're gonna tell them that.
Claudia?
We are, Mr. Moore is going to communicate with United Rail about our next,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. I'm going to call the town of Corinth first, and then I'll call them.
Okay, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn? Supervisor Molino, second by Supervisor Hogan. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. We are adjourned.